I'm at 101 Tall Trees, and this is a cement tile roof. You've got an exposure of around 12 inches for the majority of the roof, and then as it gets up near the top, the exposure changes to whatever fits to work it out at the hip. You've got sometimes 11, sometimes 10, sometimes 8 at the top. You can see this hip is open up here. This is wide open in here. I'm sure that there's some water getting in these areas. The skylight flashing doesn't look that bad. It's a copper flashing with a prefab skylight. You can see the seam is welded on the frame right here. So it's a custom skylight just for this application. The glazing doesn't look that good on that clamping bar in the center, but the frame and the acrylic looks to be decent. You can see that this roof has been patched in the past. You get different colored tile up here, 3 locations at least, and they're all on this one slope. I don't see any other repairs on the rest of the roof. So for some reason this slope is acting up, and I suspect it's because that valley there acts as a collector of sorts, just kind of allows snow to build up right in here. You can see the other slopes are just triangular or trapezoidal. The water's just coming right off. This back slope does have a valley, I'm sorry, but there's been no problems back here. I can also see the rolls in the roof on this back slope that are every bit as noticeable as the front slope. So I'm not sure what the problem is out here in the front. Obviously, cement tiles, concrete or cement tiles are heavy, and it could go all the way back to the engineering, you know, the framing here, that would allow for some kind of a distortion of the substrate. It's not, there's nothing wrong with the tiles here. I don't think there was any heaving. Okay, that just doesn't make sense. There's no winter storm heaving going on out here. This is, I'm willing to bet, something to do with weight of snow on substrate, if anything, because as I say, it's not really that noticeable. It doesn't really look like anything substantial when you know, considering what normal buckling looks like. I think it's amplified or accented from the angle that the roof is on. When you look at it from the street, it's very distinct, but when you look at it from a normal angle, it really doesn't look that bad. In fact, as I say, the back slope has got some rolls in it too. And if I look at the side slope here, I can see a little bit of it in here also. So not exactly sure what the claim is here. You see that hip is open too while I'm standing over here. I'll show you that. These hips are not secure. Neither is that hip over there. Yeah, they're open. And then someone put a patch in right here. That's my clipboard. And someone put a temporary piece of ice and water shield over that area, I guess just because it was leaking from something. And if you look at this valley, you can see it's got debris in it. You can see the pine debris, the pine tree debris. And a lot of times when you got a closed valley like this, whoops, sorry, closed valley like this, and this kind of stuff is ganging up in the little slot that's open, that's a real dam for water to back up and test what's tight sideways here. Okay, so what the part of the spec is to remove this valley, and that would mean taking this slope off and this slope off and putting a new liner in, and then putting the tiles back on. And that would involve taking these hip tiles off also, and these hip tiles off over here. So it's a fairly involved job, And I would say to you that the first thing I would do is go up into the attic before I got involved out here and make sure that there's nothing more obvious going on with the substrate, the rafters, the framing, or whatever. Not quite sure what the problem is superficially here. It just doesn't look like anything really happened per se. Can't really see anything distinct on this top side. I'm going to assume that as we come down, it's this lip right here that's being called heaved or up. That'd be this row right here. And really, when you look at it, it's really not that much different from any of the others. I can't really see anything distinct about that. Perhaps instead of this being heaved up, this and this might be sunken in a little bit. This area right here. And again, that's something that ice and snow wouldn't cause from a freeze thaw as much as from a weight problem. But we're way out here on the end here. This isn't over here where you know you're going to have a lot of buildup and weight. This is out here where the roof is open and things can slide right off. So it could just be as simple as a defective rafter in there, something that bowed or something like that. In any event, I'll give you a price on doing a similar job to what was spec'd, and perhaps you'd want to explore a little closely, for the benefit of Chubb, what actually happened here. And as I say, the first thing I would do is get into that attic if there is one, or try to excavate some of the ceiling to find out what truly happened here. I'm not really sure that it's an exterior problem.